Okay, I'm recording. So, my
Oh my
first question,
god.
my
I'm
first,
record.
yeah,
I'm being recorded.
yeah, you are.
Oh, good.
um,
Okay.
so my first question here is, what is your personal experience with military spending?
Personal experience is just within the battalion, really. I mean, we've been given some briefs on how spending goes on, across the army, across the military. But personal experience is more on the smaller unit level, about times about 500 people.
Okay, so you are currently a lieutenant in the army.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um, so my Do you believe that right now the U.S. government spends over $600 billion annually on defense spending and services for veterans? That's almost 25% of the federal budget, and by far the largest expenditure by our federal budget. Do you think that is a necessary, or is that the right amount of money to spend, or is that too much?
In my opinion, I would say that they do need to spend a lot of money, but they aren't spending it the right way.
Okay, that would lead me into my next question then. So you think that currently the U.S. it's necessary for us to spend that kind of money, but we're not spending it in the right ways then?
Um, I don't necessarily think
Cut
that
that,
that
Dad.
amount of money is necessary. There's definitely uh, what is that ring?
I don't know. Dad's phone's ringing.
Okay.
One sec. I'm gonna wait for this to end here. All right. Oh, sorry. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. I would say it's necessary for a lot of defense expenditures, a lot of research into new developing technology. That's definitely key to us maintaining our dominance as a world power. And we also have a lot of veterans with the wars, and a lot of injured veterans that need paid and deserve to be paid, and a lot of troops still in contact that deserve to be paid. But there are also a lot of frivolous spending
Yeah.
at the same time.
All right. So, one of our questions is, do we get what we pay for? And so you would say no.
Yeah, I would say no.
Like, what kind of frivolous spending are you talking about?
Um, it's hard to be specific on a larger scale, but for instance, we had a lot of vehicles, a lot of things in Iraq,
Okay.
right? We had a lot. Basically, how deployments work, or they worked when we had standing force in Iraq, was a unit went over there and took all the vehicles and all the equipment over from the unit that was already there. So what happened was when we left is we didn't have all the units to maintain all that equipment. So a lot of stuff just got destroyed because we couldn't leave it for the enemy, and it would cost more to bring it back than it would
Okay.
to maintain it. So a lot of stuff like that, it just got demolished.
Okay. I got you.
Huge, big burn pits of equipment, so it couldn't be used by the enemy after we left. I personally don't think that was the right thing to do, but there were better things we could have done with a lot of stuff.
Okay. So you would probably conclude something to that the U.S. government is is right in spending what they do on defense and veterans affairs, but that the budget isn't allocated properly.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well.
Okay. And then like how has the military been affected by such things as budget cuts and sequestration?
Um, Well, I think the Army sees the budget cuts more um, than a lot of the other branches. I personally, obviously, skewed viewpoint probably, but military spending, if you look at it, Army's facing all the bigger budget cuts. All the major research, that's into naval programs, that new Navy laser they got, and it's into new aircraft. All their big budget expenditures isn't on the actual troops on the ground. But as far as what happens with budget cuts, well, a big part of it is we're downsizing our Army. We're going into a smaller Army, and we're losing a lot of good soldiers on the way.
Okay.
Money for training's big. Money to replace equipment that's destroyed. So, for instance, well, we do training and things break down, just like any equipment breaks down, and we're on a limited budget. So, whereas now and before something was missing from a kit, something broke down, it would be too easy to get the part, get it replaced, get back up to being mission capable. Now, you kind of got to fight with other units who might need the budget more. So, depending on where you are in a deployment cycle, you're going to have more money allocated to you.
Okay. One question we want to ask is it feasible or reasonable even to try to save money by spending on private military contractors, or is the way we do it now the most efficient way to do it?
I don't have that much experience with private military contractors, but my personal opinion is they require a lot of oversight, and because they operate outside the bounds of the U.S. Army, regardless of their contract, they do not have the moral compass that a lot of our leaders have. And you want to talk about things that get done in war that shouldn't. A lot of it happens because of military contractors.
Okay.
So are they very good at their job? Yes. And because a lot of those are prior military, but it also doesn't have the oversight from the government and from the people that our military has. So I don't think private military contractors are really the go-to in most situations.
All right. Thanks, man. That's the end of the interview.